Hello everyone, my name is Cam and welcome to my end of season review for PES 2020. In this video I am going to give my opinion on PES 2020 on how it's been for me personally for the past 8 to 9 months of the game being released. Now, before I get into what I have to say, I'd like to point out that this is my opinion on the game and not everyone may agree with what I have to say. Now, this review is also based on console versions and non-modded PC versions of the game, basically the vanilla-based gameplay. We'll start off with a demo. So my experience with PES 2020 has been a story of ups and downs, and starting with something positive about PES 2020 was the demo. So for me, personally, the demo advertised a great model for gameplay, and I was happy with the improvements from PES 2019, bar a couple of things which did get fixed in later updates in the game. Now for me, the new camera angles were a welcome addition to the game, even though I didn't use them online. If I did play online, I really enjoyed the new camera angles when I was playing offline. The tempo of the game was very good, and not to mention the sharp responsiveness of finesse dribbling, including fast players being able to blitz slower players with ease. So for me, the demo had a good balance, so straight away the demo is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. So after my demo experience, I was excited for the full release of the game because of the changes to Master League. Now this is my Master League quick review right now. So I love Master League. There is no secret that that is my favourite game mode to play. But Master League Remastered was the name given to us to sell this game, and in my opinion it is far from remastered. For me, there is no replayability in Master League. The cutscenes are very repetitive with choices that do not affect any situations in game. The regens ruin the experience of the longevity within the game mode because I do not want to see a 16-year-old Messi with a 33-year-old player model. It's something small, but it does really put me off. The negotiation system has been the same for years, and for me it's just not improved whatsoever, but I will say the value of players are much better for the game and much more realistic. I do feel that the depth that was seemingly shown in the trailer has no correlation to what it feels like playing through one season of Master League, so for me this was far from remastered. It was more of an experiment but with no depth. But I must add, the best Master League experience I've had in PES 2020 was playing as a second division team, trying to take them to the next division, or creating my own team and trying to take them to the pinnacle of club football. So for me, Master League Remastered is a 5 out of 10. It was a mode that had early promise from the early trailers and screenshots, but it fell flat after I played it myself. So we move on to My Club and online. Now my opinion is going to be short and sweet for the online side of things, but My Club is not my bread and butter. But I do know that it has had a couple of cosmetic changes from PES 2019, but nothing major. I will give an opinion on My Club, but I will not give it a rating because I feel it's unfair to rate something that I barely play, so I'll leave that up to you. But the games I have played online have been a frustrating experience, which includes the button delay, the player switching, the loose ball reactions, and the scripting make this online gameplay not worth playing. There are content creators or streamers who have said that taking a break from playing PES online has been beneficial to their mental health, which speaks volumes for the gameplay online. Players are so easy to acquire to a point where you can feel that My Club can be completed within the first week of the game's release, and because I've already said that this is not my bread and butter, I don't play this game mode a lot, so like I said, I'll leave that up to you to give your opinion on My Club. So now let's touch up on the gameplay side of things, if not the most important thing for the PES franchise. Now, I enjoyed PES 2019 and I put a lot of hours into that game, and I've already said before that I enjoyed the demo of PES 2020, so going into the full release of this game, I was very optimistic, and I can say over the past 8 months of PES 2020 being out, the gameplay has been up and down. And as of recording this video, we are currently on version 1.8 with Datapack 8.0, and I can say that this is one of the most frustrating gameplay experiences I've ever had for a PES game. There are so many issues with the offline gameplay as well as the online side of things, but how has something that had so much promise ended up getting so frustrating? I can't remember the last time a PES game has had so many issues with players reacting to loose balls and trying to switch the player nearest to the ball. We know the potential that this game has and what it can be, and for some reason the demo builds of games are far superior to the full release versions of PES. It's happened for the past 3 years now. I believe that the demo versions are a very good build of the game, but we feel like we've got something different when the full version comes out. Now, a couple of months ago, I started a series called Subscriber Master League, where I created 23 members of my community to see how far I could take them in the world of football. And even though I loved what I was doing with the series and the ideas that were brought around the episodes, I had to bring it to a close because I couldn't carry on with how the gameplay was. There was constant issues with the referees not giving out cards or not even giving the foul even though there was contact. Penalties in this game are very rare, and not to mention the free kick accuracy of the CPU. There seems to be no inconsistency with their accuracy, no matter how bad the player is standing over the free kick. Another thing to mention is the finesse dribbling. This worked very well in the demo, but now I feel it's very clunky, so I barely use the finesse dribble. Another thing that bothers me in the game is how I feel defending works. I feel the slide tackle is to be very unreliable, and in online games I rarely see anyone use it against me because it's so unresponsive. I'd probably say 90% of the defending on PES is just holding down the pressure button to intercept, and to me that is not how football is played. There is no challenge to intercept the ball off the opposition and vice versa, it's just a pressure fest all over the pitch. Now, there are small positives which I do personally enjoy, which include possession-based gameplay, manual shooting, super cancel, visuals, realistic moments, but we don't get a lot of them, animations and ball physics. So for gameplay, I'm giving it a solid 5 out of 10 because I can't remember the last time I had so many issues affecting the enjoyment of the game. And it's been a very up and down life cycle for PES 2020 gameplay. So now we move on to content, another short and sweet review. But I really welcome free content for the game. It's something that Konami have done for over 10 years now, but I welcome the updated boots, kits, faces and other cosmetic changes. I also would like to take this time to say thank you for the DLC updates during lockdown. We all know that content updates were postponed due to the coronavirus, but they still released them at a later date. So again, I am grateful for the content. So for me, content is an easy 8 out of 10 because it's free and it tries to keep the game up to date. So now we're going to move on to communication, which is the last part of today's opinionated video. But I feel that communication has fallen flat after a hugely promising start. I feel that communication only exists when the game is revealed, but when the game comes out and we start to have issues, we don't know if our voice is being heard. So, late of 2019, PES decided to launch their own Facebook page for feedback called PES Development Team. So any issues we have, we can finally give our feedback, and in my opinion, it's not really served its purpose at all. It's far from what we expected, and again, I feel that sometimes we are left in the unknown with our concerns with the game. Another example is the official patch notes. When a new data pack is released, they always seem to mention changes to the gameplay, but they never specify what has changed. We all seem to feel the changes after the updates to the game, but again, we still feel lost in knowing if our concerns for this game are being heard. If you look on Twitter, we have a very vocal community, but sometimes people can get a little bit too personal with their opinion, which is something I don't agree with. But you can certainly feel the frustrations people have towards the game. So I am going to give communication a 3 out of 10. To me, the communication isn't good enough between PES and the community, but when the game is being announced and marketed, there is a lot of communication hyping up the next installment of the PES franchise, but once the game is released and we have issues, we just don't seem to know if our voice is being heard or not. So that is my opinion on my experience for PES 2020. I'm going to give PES 2020 an overall score of 6 out of 10, and the reason why it's 6 is because I don't think there's been a PES game that has been less fun but more frustrating than PES 2020. There is times where I just want to play PES, but I'll have to go back to an older PES because I know what's coming with PES 2020. As of recently, I've been streaming older PES games, and it's, even though they're not the best games, it's nice to feel what that game was all about, because we know what we're getting with PES 2020, and it is just a cluster of frustration. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Take care. My name is Cam, and I will see you all in the next one.